Good morning, my brothers and sisters, and all my friends. This morning we are going to talk about the mystery of the Guru, part 3. And we are going to investigate why we need the Guru and how the tradition of Guru started and why it started. As we have observed and seen that the human being comes to earth, the human child, without any operating system, without any pre-installed software of survival skills as well as evolutionary skills. The human child comes to this earth as a tabula rasa, as a clean slate, for the very express reason, the evolutionary need to practice innocence and trust, and practice the innocence and trust consciously. Means to practice engaged innocence and trust infused with the resolution and intention of universal welfare. And we know that it doesn't come naturally from the evolutionary mandate. All we are on earth as just the bundle of innocence. So we need mother as our first guru, then the parents, both of them, as our second guru, and the third guru we need is the guru who could initiate us into the responsible earth citizenship. Responsible earth citizenship doesn't come naturally either. So we need somebody to teach us that. Of course, we know that our mother and our parents will teach through their responsible parenthood. They will teach us the basics of being a benevolent human being, a chain of good we will establish on earth. But we need the guru or the teacher, which we are missing even today. The Western education system prepares a person only for a profession, only for a certain profession, but it doesn't prepare a good earth citizen. So we need to recognize this need of the humanity today, and because of this, the wrong concept of the Western education system, we are left with no other choice than to look towards the wisdom tradition of ancient India. And the wisdom tradition of ancient India was based on the observations by the rishis, the great rishis, who were followers of Satya Dharma. Satyat nasti paro dharma. There is no religion greater than the truth. When we have this mental attitude, then our mind will always look for the truth around. And through their observations, they recognized that if we leave a human being, a human child, dependent only on the parents, will still need a third guru to grow into a responsible earth citizen. And that is a discipline which must be practiced for many years before we could become a responsible earth citizen. So the wisdom tradition of India calls for the whole humanity to prepare and become the responsible earth citizens, where every human being will live in harmony with the environment. Every human being will practice with a mental attitude to take minimum from the environment and try to give maximum back, maximum good, to contribute to the biosphere. What is that process? This process is in science known as negentropy. We check the entropy, we check the chaos in the universe and in the environment around by feeding the environment and by feeding the biosphere with the divine attributes which have the greatest circle of compassion. So we are enriching the biosphere with love, compassion, justice, equality. And that is the express purpose of evolutionary mandate, to bring humanity to this state. We also know that without the attitude of innocence and trust, our mind will always judge. Our mind has this problem of judging everything around, me and them. Our mind will always create duality. And a mind engaged in the duality is an inefficient mind. It cannot use 100% of its potential. So in order to empower the human mind to use 100% of its power, its potential, we need to take away the duality. To take away the duality, the attitude of duality, we have to take away the attitude of judgmental mind when we judge everyone around. There is a big difference in observations and judging. Observations, you don't exist. But in judgments, you exist as a separate entity. So we have to get rid of this judgmental mind and of this duality of the mind. That's our evolutionary station. And because of this judgmental mind, we have all the problems all over the earth. And we are victims of our own arrogance of the wisdom, whether that wisdom is of religious philosophy, of social, political, and we tell each other, I am right and you are wrong. And we create lots of tension and problems around. And so much so, the self-possessive idealism creates demons like Pol Pot of Cambodia, Hitler, the Ramana, and all the Baghdadis around. We have all those problems of self-possessive idealism. When the idealism becomes a prison for the human mind, and the human mind becomes so arrogant that it will go to any length and create, it tries to take over the world and deny other sentient beings and other human beings, the fellow human beings, their right of existence and their right of happiness. So that's a path to separatism, not of the unity. And we are looking for the path which creates unity, which creates global and universal unity of hearts and minds of the humanity, to create an atmosphere of an ecosystem of peace, progress and prosperity, love and compassion everywhere. So we are in the need of third guru, because We learn, the human beings learn from associative learning. When we see the animals behaving so violent around for their food, we will also become violent. Our mind will justify that actions, and we will become like animals, copying the animals. We won't use our wisdom, we won't use our intellect, discriminative intellect, that's why we are here, and why we come to the earth as bundle of innocence, to practice infinite trust, not only in the nature, Mother Nature, not only in the environment, and not only in the benevolence of the universe, but even the benevolence of the humanity. So along with the Mother Nature and the environment and the life principle, we also have humanity as a whole, our guru. So we learn from each other. We learn from the whole humanity. We learn from all the streams of philosophies, all the streams of science and technology from each other. And that is the process of Madhu Vidya. So we need to move on towards the collective effort, the collective cooperation, the collective collaboration, and collective effort to create love and compassion all around. So we need a guru to initiate us in earth citizenship, where every human being will create an ecosystem of love and compassion. And we will take minimum from the environment and give out maximum good. We will enrich the biosphere with those divine attributes of love and compassion. That is our resolution, and that's why we are here. And that's why we are put on this high pedestal of evolution, the apex of evolution, the humanity. So we must practice the engaged innocence and the trust with the express resolution, with a strong resolution to do good and to contribute maximum good and become the chain of good. Doesn't matter where we exist on planet Earth, that we enrich the whole environment with love and compassion, with humility, and with our intelligence, using the experiential wisdom and evolutionary wisdom, and not to become the reactive mind. As we know that the whole post-industrial revolution has made the 99% of the humanity as the slaves working for somebody. That's not the station of humanity. Every human being must be free to decide what he wants to learn and what he wants to do, and how he wants to contribute the maximum good to the humanity, to the collective welfare, to the universal welfare. So we have to allow that room to every human being to become the Swambhu, to become the one who rules himself, the one who uses the experiential wisdom and the evolutionary wisdom before one acts, before one takes a step. And without using the experiential wisdom and the evolutionary wisdom, which is handed over to us from our humanity, the great society, the work of the human beings and the humanity for thousands and thousands of years. This experiential wisdom of humanity, this wisdom, this evolutionary wisdom and discriminative intellect, we need to use. We need to make good use of this discriminative intellect. And if we don't use that, then there is no difference between us and the animals. then we are existing at the state of animals. We are not even humans. To become a human, we need to make good use of our experiential wisdom. The great wisdom, the chain of wisdom lineage handed over from the experience of humanity. The whole humanity is our guru. That's our third guru. Because the great humanity, great family of God, the great Vasudev Kutumbakam, has handed over this great wisdom of experience and evolutionary wisdom for us to make good use. And if we don't make good use, and if we don't allow the great majority of humanity, the humankind, if we don't allow that they could freely use the experiential wisdom and become the great responsible earth citizens, then we are creating chain of slaves. We are creating the great system of slavery, global system of slavery. My dear brothers and sisters, we don't need that kind of systems anymore. We have to do the course correction of our ship. We are in the middle of the ocean and we need to correct our course in order to reach, in order to make good use of experiential wisdom. The great guru, the great humankind is our guru. As a person, we do need a third guru, and that is the great tradition of wisdom tradition from ancient India. And this is the greatest gift of India to humanity. That the humanity must incorporate this great teaching, this great tradition of guru in their education system, in our education system. So the message of today's talk, that we need to bring and build the bridges in East and West, along with our Western education system, where we need the specialists in different streams of science and technology and philosophy, along with those experts and specialists. We do need the great tradition of guru. We need to incorporate that wisdom from ancient India in our modern education system to prepare every human child and every human being as a responsible earth citizen. Until we don't do that, we have the great danger. We are in the great danger of self-destruction. Because without preparing the humanity for the earth citizenship, and without the help of the great science of Bharat Vidya, the great wisdom tradition of ancient India, who gave this great institution of guru to humanity, to prepare the humanity for responsible earth citizenship. So we need to incorporate, we need to build the bridge of East and West education system in order to prepare humanity in 21st century for responsible earth citizenship. As we are talking about all the green technologies and all those big ideas of environment, carbon footprints and everything, and we have big conferences, and we reach nowhere. Because the whole of the Western education system prepares all these great experts are bottomless pit. They themselves are without the bottom, or they have the leaking bottoms. They can never ever reach to the high pedestal of evolutionary wisdom of responsible earth citizenship. All their talks are of convenience. All their wisdom is of their convenience. So they talk and they tell the undeveloped world that you should be very careful about the carbon footprints, but they never look back on their own creation of the whole continent of the West and how much waste they create. So they just practice the empty idealism, the self-possessive idealism, and we are not going to reach anywhere through their wisdom. So that wisdom has to be assisted by the great wisdom tradition of India, the institution of good, to prepare humanity for responsible earth citizenship. And that is the greatest gift of India to humanity, to the family of God, Vasudev Kutumbakam. The great humankind needs India in 21st century. And we need to prepare every human being as the responsible earth citizenship before we have any hope to save humanity from the self-destruction. Thank you very much and have a very, very beautiful day, my brothers and sisters. Thanks.